Okay, hello everybody. Welcome back to another YouTube video. It's Dolce Jeans here, and I'm gonna be talking about a versatile wardrobe versus a uniform, like the pros and cons of both, right? Now, me personally, I do have a versatile wardrobe, but I do kind of get in my moods or my phases where I'm just wearing one type of outfit or one outfit for like a month straight. It usually doesn't last longer than that because I like to get different and go in different lanes, but I experienced both, and there's definitely a lot of pros and cons to both, and I'm gonna try and present those to you today. So before we get into it, please like and subscribe. I appreciate it a lot. It helps me out and it encourages me to make more. It really does. But I'm gonna make them anyway. Yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, first I'm gonna explain what I mean by uniform. Now, uniform doesn't mean like cartoon characters, SpongeBob, or the same thing every day. It can be a lot, honestly. It can be, yes, the same jacket with the same pants with the same shoes. Like, it could be that. It could also be the same color. So like you wear a pink tank top with like white pants and white shoes this day. Then you could wear a pink jacket with like black and whatever. And then you can wear like pink pants or pink shoes. Like something in the wardrobe is always gonna be like pink, especially if it's like the top. That could be a uniform too. It could be the silhouette, like if you're always in something skinny, if you're always in s- like like Eddie Samain type silhouette. If that's your silhouette, that's your uniform. That could be your uniform. It could also be the piece of clothing you always wear. Like if you're always wearing a hoodie or a jacket, if you're like the loafers guy, oh I hate streetwear, the slides guy, the boots guy, the tabby guy, or whatever. Yeah, you could be like the sneakers guy, the New Balance guy, the Jordans guy. It doesn't matter. The type of shoes, like the type of piece in general, if that's what you wear every day, even that can be a uniform. It may be a more minimal version, but like it's the whole idea of like this is what I wear and it's very strict and it's not gonna change. You can be somebody who's always wearing a certain brand. You can be the Rick guy. Oh, Rick on me. Oh, you feel me? Like whatever. Rare Raf when I wear a Raf or whatever. That could be a uniform as well. If you're like a Mew Mew girly or like you're in England and you absolutely love Martine Rose, I'm pretty sure like the people who only wear Comme de Garçon in Japan, they were called like the crows or something. I'm gonna have to put it on the screen to see if I can verify that. But like, yeah, like if you only wear Comb, you only wear Yoji, you only wear Issy, like the brand can be your uniform as well. Sometimes that can get a bit pretentious, but that's up for you to decide, you feel me? So there's anything about your wardrobe that you repeat like over and over again, like for real, and is recognizable. Like people can always be like, oh, there you go again wearing that shit. That's always gonna be you. It could even be something like, I've never seen this before personally, but it could even be something like if you always wear double waisted denim or something stupid like that. That's like what a uniform is, in my opinion, of course. Then you have a versatile wardrobe now. Me personally, I think a versatile wardrobe can only be seen as versatile under two conditions. One, if you have a style that you still go back to and do often as a signature, and two, if it's actually good. Because like people use the word versatile so people use the word versatile so loosely, like, oh, he's so versatile. This is not enclosed, this isn't anything in general. Somebody's only versatile if they can do a lot of different stuff well. If you're just doing a whole bunch of different stuff and it's all mid, you're not versatile, you're confused. And you should stop right now and lock in. Now, with that being said, I think somebody versatile would be like Cash K, because he did like the rock punk type aesthetic before, and then he kind of made a switch to streetwear, and he does both of those really well. He could go in any lane. And that's like a versatile person you could look at. We could consider Carti versatile as well, because like imagine if Carti like how he used to wear like that fit he did on the runway with like the Supreme shirt and the undercover shoes and the Jordans. I mean the undercover pants. God. He switched it to like like he just started wearing Rick or whatever, and then he really went Rick, and then he's on his stuff now. Like imagine if he was all doing that at the same time too. That would be like even more versatile. But obviously he's a versatile guy because now he's switching it up back to like more streetwear as well. Like that's a versatile person where they can pull everything off well. But yeah, I say versatility is only like valid in my eyes, I guess. Versatility is only valid when it's like you can pull off everything well though. Which is why I personally try and like branch out a lot and explore my own taste, because I want to be able to put on something that's real nice and classy. And then I want to be able to put on something else that looks more casual and more connected to like the youth. And then I want to be able, like, it's kind of like how I'm not comparing myself to Rick, but Rick had a conversation with Lord Prigent where he was talking about sequins, and Rick was saying like, "Oh, I thought about it. I would never do sequins, but if I did do sequins, how would I do it?" And then he made sequins in his own way. I feel like that's me in like, he's just like me. I think that's kind of similar to me because I'm always trying to see like, if I was to do that, like, how would I do it? What would it look like? How would I approach it? Would I be able to pull it off? And then I end up challenging myself. I might even buy a piece of clothing just to go in that realm. Like sometimes I still throw on some of the Jordans that like I got from family members as gifts, just to see like, can I give like streetwear? Even though streetwear is more than Jordans, but you know what I mean. Like, and also I'm gonna self-insert myself again from my other point of versatility, where it's like I do a lot of different styles. Sometimes I do the streetwear. Sometimes I try this. Sometimes I try that. But I'll always return to like my skinny silhouette, especially like the skinny flared, skinny boot cut, because that's my favorite. But I do branch out a lot, and I feel like I can pull off a good amount of other styles well at this point in time. So I think my wardrobe is still kind of versatile myself. Now, pros and cons. The reason why I clicked on this video. I'd say the pros of a uniform is that it definitely gives absolute recognition. Like you become very easily recognizable. Like if you're someone who's always wearing like a certain color, or if you're always wearing certain types of clothes from a certain brand, it's cool to be recognized as like that guy. Like I personally love crazy jeans. Dolce jeans of crazy jeans. Wow. People sometimes literally send me like crazy pairs of jeans and me like, I could imagine you wearing this. And that's so cool to me. Now, if that's mainly why you're into like getting a uniform, it's a bit misguided. It's something that's supposed to happen over time, but it's fun when it does start to happen and you start to make this type of lane for yourself because of your uniform, right? Also, if it's because of the same exact type of clothes that you wear every day, then it also just makes you like physically recognizable. Like if you live in like a small place, or like you're always out in a certain area, people know you as that person because of like, oh, you're the one who always wears that jacket. Like you always wear those shoes. Whether you like it or not, you get recognition for stuff like that. Also, if we look at more of an online perspective, possibly, or like a small niche community perspective, you build a very tailored audience. Because if your look is like something that's very streamlined, very specific, and it's not going to change much, then it begins to build like a cult, like, I wouldn't say cult like following, but then you begin to build like almost like an inside joke, but not really like a joke, you know what I mean? It's like, if you know, like, oh, that's always gonna be you. So you tailor your audience and like you attract more people like that. I would like to throw in the example of Rick Owens in like his early career, how he basically said like his fashion is so slow, and he was like, I don't think I'm gonna even make it that long in fashion because of how fast paced it is. I don't think I'm gonna last that long because it's not gonna change much. But it didn't change much, and he built a very slow but dedicated fan base because they knew what they were getting from him every time. So it's like if you do that with like your brand or your wardrobe, you can have the same effect because people know what they're gonna get from you every time. And it also makes it so that whenever you switch it up, it's like, whoa, like the person who's always wearing black decides to wear white or pink or green. Like, whoa, you know what I mean? It gives like a tailored audience, and also that spontaneous effect whenever you do decide to step out of your box. A uniform can also help build identity, because if you find solace in like a certain brand like Comme des Garçons and what they stand for, or Yoji and what they stand for, or if you just love Helmet Line and a brand speaks to you on a deeper level, the way how it's supposed to, because it's art and it's supposed to make you feel something, it can help build identity if that's the brand you decide to support 100% and you only wear stuff from them. Like if you care deeply about the connection between clothes and how it interacts with the body and how it makes the body feel and how it looks on the body, how it can distort the shape, how it can flow, you might develop a very deep connection to Issey Miyake, because that's what he was all about for the most part. But yeah, that's another thing about the uniform. You can find yourself in the clothes. If you want it to be like representative of like a certain aspect of your life, like if you listen to a lot of punk or rock, you can dress like that, and then it can pull everything together and it can help you out, because that's like your uniform now. That's like you dress like this and it's making you feel better and more connected to yourself because that's you. It can help with your identity for sure. There's a lot of pros and cons now that I'm thinking about it. I might have to cut it short. The cons of a uniform: it can get boring. Now, it takes a special type of person to wear the same type of stuff over and over again. for an extended period of time, like years and years and years. It can get boring. And also, if you spend too much money on one type of thing or one brand, then your wardrobe can become very hmm, cagey, like not very diverse. I mean, that was the whole point in the first place because it's supposed to be a uniform, right? But it's also risky because one day if you gain too much weight and you can't fit into most of your clothes, you're kind of screwed as well. It gets risky because if one day you decide, I mean, we all grow and we're gonna grow, hopefully, in terms of like personality. If you grow and you decide, oh, I don't really want to wear this anymore, your whole wardrobe could probably be out the door. You know what I mean? Yeah, it can get boring to just like one way every day, unless that's really who you are and you're devoted to that. It's definitely possible, so don't let me scare you away, or don't let anybody else scare you away. But it's something to consider because it can get boring at times. That's like the main con. If you're like a fashionable person and you want to be diverse, but you keep on buying black shirts, you're not really helping your own cause. Another thing, it can like hinder your fashion development if you're somebody who actually wants to learn more about different styles and histories of different brands, because if you end up dressing in one way, it could possibly keep you closed-minded because you're not seeing anything else and you're not exploring anything else. It can hinder your development. Also, the con of a uniform, I guess, is that if you're wearing like the same clothes over and over, they could end up being destroyed if they're not made well. They could experience a lot more wear and tear. Now, if you're wearing something like Guidi's or something, then it could pay off because it could look really good once it's worn in. But like if the clothes are like cheap or thrifted or not made well, then wearing them over and over again could quickly diminish the quality. Something to factor in before you make that decision, right? I'm pretty sure that's it for uniform. If I do remember anything else, I might edit it in. Versatile now. Versatility. The first benefit I can think of is that it's kind of more respected socially if you care about how people perceive you. When I say socially respected, it's like, oh, that guy, he can put it on any which way, you know? Those people are usually respected because it's like, it's a bit harder to do in terms of skill, I would suppose. Well, maybe not in terms of making clothes because it takes a lot of skill to master a craft. So it might take a lot of skill to master your own lane as well, just as much skill as being versatile. But I don't know, I don't think people think that far on the surface level. On the surface level, they're probably just like, oh, he's harder because he can put together so many different styles, or you wear the same thing every day. That's boring. Like if you care about the social construct of it, like it's seen as cooler when you can go in many different lanes. But there's also a flip side to that, and I'll get into that in a bit. Also, I think it's just more fun to have a versatile wardrobe and always be doing different styles. Well, not always, but have access to different styles. Like I wear baggy one day, and then I wear skinny the other day, and then I wear flared, and then I wear bootcut, and back to baggy, then straight. All these different colors, all these different sizes of jackets, puffy, slim, different types of shirts. It's fun. It's almost like dress up. Well, it is kind of. It's a coping mechanism. That's what it is. Like you can have all these different styles, and it's just fun to experience different vibes. And also it works if you're like a sporadic person in terms of nature. You don't have to be tied down to one look every day, even if you're not feeling like that. Like if you feel bad, you want to throw on a black hoodie and some black sweats and just step, you can do that. Or if you're feeling great, if you're feeling great and you want to be colorful, you can do that as well. It's just like if you're somebody who really likes to have fun with clothes, then that's definitely an enabler. It can help you. Having a versatile wardrobe can actually also introduce you to many different crowds. One day you might be just like on some anime stuff, and some people like that could be like, oh, that's so cool. And then the other day you could be like in this type of opium outfit or whatever, and those type of people could see you, and it could just have many people looking in their direction. Like me personally, I have a lot of different followers from a lot of different genres of dressing, like streetwear, and then opium, and then like the kind of fruits magazine, hysteric glamour, Japanese Harajuku side of things, and then like the archive tornado mart if 6 was 9 Japanese people, and then the streetwear people, and then British people because I wear Years of Tears. Like I have a lot of British mutuals, and it's because of all these different styles that I like to do. So my audience is very wide. And if that's something that you like, then it can be a pro. But if that's something that you don't like, then it can be a con. Yeah. Another benefit is like the flip side of one of the cons I talked about with a uniform, where it's like instead of having this narrow understanding of we're not understanding this. Instead of having this narrow like view of different brands and different styles, with a versatile wardrobe you can be open to so many different styles. Like, let's say I want it to be colorful in like a Walter Van Berendonck way, of like cartoonish crazy designs, right, with like extra sleeves and armholes all over my clothes. But let's say one day I didn't want to feel that loud and I wanted to look into something else. You could look into Marnie type of colorful, and then you can look into like Sonny type of colorful, or like even the Alessandro Michele Gucci type of colorful. Like, when you have a versatile wardrobe and you care about like different silhouettes and different styles, you open your eyes to more, let me stop doing that, sides of fashion from different regions as well. That's the whole point of versatility anyway, just more diverse, right? More lanes or whatever. Also, I feel like when you're more versatile, your outfits can end up just looking more creative when you really start to mix and match. I'm talking about like those people who wear like jerseys with shorts and loafers and stuff, or like business casual streetwear stuff. Is like when you have all these different clothes from different genres, you have fun mixing and matching if you do look into that though, you know what I mean? That possibility is there, of course, if you're willing to like, or if you care about it, you know? Like, you can start doing very wacky stuff that is not conventional styling, but if you can make it work, you can make it work. And that's because your wardrobe just has all these different corners of reference, and if you mix them together, it can create something that's like close to new. You can create something totally new actually. The more versatile your wardrobe is, you have more access to things that have never been done before, or maybe have been done before but haven't been seen widespread by the world, or your like close local world at least. So it can really breed like a whole bunch of new creativity within you. Now, in terms of cons, a lot of people saying that, oh, you put it on because you have so many different styles. Some people could look like, oh, you don't even have an identity, you don't know what you want to do. And that's up to how well you manage it, honestly. If you manage it in a very sporadic way, if you're all over the place with your style, it might come off as bad to people because they're like, oh, I hate somebody who doesn't know what they want to look like you look different every day. Like, if you're doing something totally different every day, it's not really versatility. It's more like you need to chill the hell out. That could be a con for sure. Only if you care about something like that though. If you're just purely into costuming and you want to be something different every day, you can make that your thing too. But if you want to be known as like versatile at any lane, it's like at some point you got to stay in one of the lanes, you know what I mean? You got to have your own little lane where you can return to. Another con of like versatility, you might end up spending more money on too many different things. Because if you really want to go into your looks, you're gonna need accessories sometimes. You're gonna need other things to pull it together. You're gonna need different shoes, different jackets, different outerwear in general. And if you really want to go into that, it's gonna require more money. Speaking from experience. But yeah, people with uniforms, they don't spend as much money as people with versatile wardrobes, and it's just literally a fact that can be very easily understood. Nothing much more to say about that one. And this might not even be valid to be another point, but because it's like piggybacking off of the last one, but it can lead to, of course, overconsumption if you have all these different types of clothes in your closet, which is just not good. Also, it may actually hinder your ability to find your identity or find an identity within your clothing if that's something you want, right? It's kind of like the flip side of the pro of a uniform, because it's like if you're always looking different, when you sit down and think about it and you think about like what's your favorite style or how you really like to look, if you go too hard on the versatility and looking different all the time, you may not be able to answer that question. And again, this is only a con if it bothers you. If you want to be somebody who's like, you don't want to think about it, you just want to wear whatever, you don't want to think about it whatsoever, then of course go for it. But if you're somebody who that might bother you, I know it would bother me, like not having your own signature or not knowing what you like 100% at the end of the day, then that could confuse you if you don't handle yourself properly. I think that's it, y'all. I think that's it. I will say, wear what you want. That's the point of fashion. It's a very personal thing. It's like a ritual, connecting to yourself through the clothes that are directly on your body. You can get spiritual. You can get through a whole different layers of it, right? But wear clothes for yourself first and foremost. Then everything else will follow. Because if you don't like it, then what's the point? Nothing wrong with having a wardrobe or a uniform. It doesn't make you wear it either way. It's just a personal choice of how you want to present yourself. This was not a guide. It was just me rambling. It's entertainment, alright? Fashion is to be enjoyed, it's not a competition with anybody and not even with yourself. Okay, that's the end of the video. Please like and subscribe if you liked it. I really hope you did. I really hope you somehow came away with something. My voice is a little messed up right now. Something's wrong with my be normal. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate everybody who watched this video, especially to this point. I hope you stick around for the next one, and I'll see you in the next one, or I might never see you again. It's up to you. I don't know, bro.